Welcome, Field Home Farm Sessions on a very special July 14th, 2025. Yes, I'm sitting in my office sweating away, but we're in a heat wave again in southern Ontario, but I'll talk about that. Talk about the party and the after party for my neighbor Big Roy's daughter's wedding reception we had here on the weekend. Younger people talking about old people talking about younger people, but we'll talk about that. Raspberry season and getting ready for other stuff. Well, today is my youngest daughter's 12th birthday. Little Scoobs and Dirty Mike should send a shout out pretty soon, and his daughter. So 12, big deal. She's 1 year away from 13. Now, I joke with her and said, well, we don't need a party tonight because we had your party on the weekend but she goes, yes, we do. So I love joking with my daughter. So 12 is very special. They went to a water park in Barrie. She had a friend party last night, yesterday, and now she's having a family party today, which should be lovely. So but on that, KJ, how are you, KJ, on this hot and sweaty day? I just talked my youngest daughter's birthday today, so I said her 12th birthday. It's my hockey daughter, and they're supposed to have dry land training tonight for their summer hockey, but it got canceled, so they're gonna have a shooting and something else and a pool party. But I text the coach and I said, well, it's her birthday, so she's not coming. He goes, well, happy birthday, enjoy your day. Scoobs. Well, he didn't say Scoobs, but so yes, it is freaking hot. But the good thing was, it did not. The last week was hot too, and there was a nice breeze on Saturday for the party. And yes, KJ and anybody else, other listeners, we had my neighbor Big Roy. His daughter got married. He has a daughter and a son. The daughter got married in BC in May and wanted to have the wedding reception here. And when Big Roy asks, he does so much for me and so much for when we're away. He'll look after the cows. He'll look after the chickens. He looks after our dog when we're gone too, and they look after our dog. So anything you want done, Big Roy will say yes to. So you can never say no. And it was great. It was a lot of like anybody else that has anything to do on their own property or for themselves. Mr. Bless One, I don't know, you're on. How are you? And anything that has, tell me where you're from. Give me a heads up. KJ, I know where you're from. Middlesex. Um, Anybody that plans a party, anybody that plans the event on their own place or even at another place, it's a lot of work, and especially at your own homestead because so many. Ghana, there you go. How are you? Welcome. Just from Southern Ontario, Canada, 1.5 hours from Toronto. KJ, what are you, 2 hours from Toronto and Middlesex, or an hour and a half, something like that. So, yeah, it was a lot of work setting up. But Big Roy, he took the week off. He works at Quality Holsteins. There you go. I can't have now, Mr. Bless One. I can't. I can't. There was a lot of Jesus going on around on the weekend. My Big Roy's youngest sister. She loves the Bible and all other stuff. But well, Big Roy doesn't, and it was his party, so there was nothing to do with that. He was there, but you know what I mean. So getting ready, getting the weeding done, getting the barn washed. Big Roy did all that. He had scaffolding. We hung. Well, if anybody goes on Instagram, Field Home Poultry, go on there. You'll see see how the progressed. And I was going to put some more pictures on, but Steffi Stevenson, she was Miss Professional Photographer. Anybody that listens to this, most of my friends know who she is. She takes photography of cow shows and twilight meetings, any Holstein event, and does weddings and buck and does, and just amazing photographer. And just, I don't know how she does it. I think she's got to slow down because she's got a lot on her plate with two young kids too. But I know she loves to do it. But once in a while, you just got to say no. And that right, KJ? Just say no. Oh, Mr. Blessed One's gone. Praise the Lord, God, Jesus. He was getting on about KJ. He was going really on about God on my back and forth. I was like, whoa. I'm not saying I'm not going to go into that. I try not to get too religious on this podcast, but it's like, whoa. We joked. I'm not gonna. I'll say what I was gonna say when he wasn't on, but I said I asked Big Roy because his youngest sister, who's in her, she has kids of her own now. But I said, "Are you gonna say grace before the before the meal?" And Roy says, "Absolutely not." So yeah, it's just one of those things. So yeah, so it was great. It was a great day. They brought they did some things. I mean, if you did something, you would do things different, and vice versa. Now they went all out. It was in a barn and in a barn shed, and it looked amazing. One of the parents who I talked to said, "Do you do this all the time? Is this like an event center?" I said, "Fuck no." I said, "I am not." There was it was lovely to do for Big Roy, but or Big Roy's daughter Erin, but I would not do that all the time, like every week or something like that. No thanks. You imagine renting out? It would be different if it was on some other property and you didn't live there, but you imagine renting out to somebody like we didn't know a lot of people because it was a lot of Big Roy's daughter's friends. We knew a few, but we didn't know a lot of the people. So you imagine having a party where you just have somebody you put online, event center, barn to rent, and then you have a party and you don't know anybody. Like I'm not an alcoholic that I have to go out and party with with a bunch of people I don't know all the time. So it's bad enough going to a bar and you don't know anybody, which I don't do very much anymore, but it's bad enough that way. You know what I'm talking about, KJ. Oh, there's another person on. It must be like a lovely Monday. How are you? Must be a lovely Monday. Everybody's in the studio today. It is raspberry season in Ontario too. If you know, get out and get your raspberries fresh. I know they have these big ones on Saturday night for the desserts. Holy crap in hell! They're Roscoe. Look, I said raspberry too many times, and Roscoe came on. So they had these raspberries on these desserts on Saturday night, and they were some big, massive ones. I know they weren't from Ontario, unless Roscoe's putting some steroids in his raspberries. But and you can tell Ontario strawberries, Ontario raspberries, how different they are. But so Big Roy still going to talk about the party. Roscoe, they had a big party. It was not my party, so I could not invite people. It was Big Roy's daughter party. I actually invited a couple people. I invited you guys. I said come over for a drink, but not the meal part of it. My wife's sister came over just for a couple drinks. Then she drove home. I don't know. She never even stayed over. Queen Bell forever. How are you? And just talking about a big party. Look at this. People click on, click off. How are you? So they hired a professional caterer. So Big Roy's neighbor is the owner of the Brick and Fire, and Dave and Deanna, and I forget their last name, but Brick and Fire restaurant in Bradford. She left. If you are ever in Bradford and want to go out for a great meal, I think they're open for lunch every day. This is my ad plug for which I get no money for. Every day they're open. I think lamb. Tell me, KJ, the dinner. Anyways, lamb chops or lamb something is their best dish they cook, and they have amazing pasta. And the place is packed like all the time. Like I'm not kidding. Like every Friday, Saturday, most nights is packed. Like they cook great dinner, and it's not cheap, but you got to pay for what you got to pay for. So they had, excuse me, unedited KJ. Jesus. Hold on, I gotta take a drink. You guys take a little sip of water. I'm sweating like fucking crazy in this barn right now, but it is hot. I'll get into that after. So they had a guy. They had a cooler, so they rented a cooler. It's like a plug-in air conditioner, and it was funny as hell because Big Roy and I'd be doing something. We were doing something last week, and we'd go in the cooler to have a beer in the afternoon, and you'd sit like it's a fridge freezer. It was about 4 degrees in there, and you just go in and sit down and have a beer. It was beautiful. And they rented that, and they made some roast beef and Caesar salad. And they had a vegan. Roy's. I forget which one of his sisters is a vegetarian or something. And they said, well, we have a food request. I said, go fuck yourself with your food. I'm sorry about you vegans and vegetarians on here, but I am not one of those. So they wanted a meal request for something. I'm like, there's salad and there's pasta and there's some potatoes. If you want to go vegan or vegetarian, there's your fucking choices. They're not doing tofu chicken and this and that and fake bullshit. So I just lost all my listeners, KJ and Roscoe, on my meat eaters talk. But the roast beef they cooked up, holy shit in hell. They had they have a couple extras, and Big Roy took one and we took one. I had 2 roast beef sandwiches last night. Oh my god, beautiful, beautiful. And my oldest daughter made some gravy for it. It was beautiful. So I have down here younger people not sticking around. Yeah, I don't. If Hubie Jen has been on here for a while, I don't know what's going on, Hubie Jen. You're taking another holiday, but when she had the buck and doe for one of her kids in her barn, I think she remembered saying like they were partying till like 2, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I think that is because of the farm community, people knowing each other on the farm community, and they stick around. This was kind of a mishmash of everybody, but there was a DJ, there was dancing, like we were dancing all night, me and Roy, Big Roy, and a bunch of, not all night, holy shit, I can't do that anymore. KJ, have you ever two-stepped, or Roscoe two-stepped lately? Because last year I two-stepped. We were at a party and I two-stepped. Holy shit, my calf muscles were insanely sore after two-stepping. So haven't done it for a long time. I did a little bit on Saturday night, but my calves started to hurt and I just shut her down. So a little bit of dancing. Big Roy got to dance with his daughter the first dance, and then they called out all the dads and their daughters. So I took all my three daughters, and I think Steph got a few pictures of that. It was me and my three daughters out in the dance floor. It was pretty cool. So yes, young people. I don't know why they don't stick around. They do not socialize like they used to. Me and Big Roy were talking about it this morning. We set up. They took down a bunch of stuff yesterday. I was not. I believe me. I was not feeling good. Oh, and my remember I was talking about I wasn't having much to drink lately. Well, I blew that out of control on Saturday night. So it's I might have to get back to my slowing down on drinking because Saturday night just went a little bit. So then yesterday we're cleaning up everything and taking down tables, and holy shit, like talk about work. And then Big Roy took a bunch of garbage to the dump this morning, cleaned up the shop. Oh, just lots of work. But anyways, that's that. And the heat. So my daughter said yesterday we went to Big Roy's for a swim last night. And my daughter says, "Is that fog or smoke?" And I said, "I don't know. Because I haven't been looking at the news. I haven't been looking at the news lately, so I didn't know that there was wildfires in northern Manitoba, northern Ontario. So guess what? Look outside, and there's a water tower not too far. I'm just looking outside right now. She's a little smoky outside. So KJ, you're so far away from Toronto. Is it smoggy out there? I don't know. That is so. Roscoe, if you put more money into climate change taxes, we will control these wildfires. Just ask Carney, Prime Minister Carney, give him another couple $1 billion. He will be able to control the climate change and wildfires. So, daughter's birthday, raspberry season, and now we got to get into take a little hiatus. Got to make accounting done. Got to get a couple other things done for the chicken board, and then I'm on to over at my mom's place cleaning up that for the plow match in a few weeks. Which I got to learn to say no. This summer's been kind of a write off as far as doing everything else. Big Roy was sitting there. One guy says, "Have you been up to the cottage much?" I looked at Roy. I said, "No, because I'm doing this." And he just said, "Screw you." So it's one of those things. It's pretty. It's you do it for your community and your friends and stuff. So, but this plow match is going to be whatever. It's they're mostly looking after it, but there is things you got to touch up here and there. So on that note, KJ and Roscoe, where has Mystery been? Is Mystery at the cottage? You better get the air conditioning on and everything else. Thank you for listening. Emmett has not been on today, but what's Roscoe saying? Oh, he just liked the show. Well, you know what? You guys are all right. Pick those raspberries and do the 4-H. Talk to you later, guys. Thanks for listening.